Hi, it's Andy here from Mudstacle. We're here with Jim, the founder of Rat Race. We're underneath the Ewok village. We're going to ask Jim a few questions about Dirty Weekend. So first of all, what new obstacles can we expect?
Well, it's year 6 and I think everybody out there in obstacle running will admit that there's only so many things you can do with a scaffold plank and a couple of tyres. But every year we seem to find a few new things to do, and indeed this year is no exception. We've got quite a few interesting things, so I guess starting with things like this is the Ewok village, and every year we try and add something new to these big gargantuan structures. Last year we actually added these towers that we're standing underneath, and this year we've stripped off quite a lot of the top bits and we've added a quite scary boardwalk up at the top here, 1 plank wide, up in the air. Don't worry, there's a net underneath, but pretty scary. There's some tubes at the end. There's a couple of new features on this. In this wood where we're standing, which is about 10 miles into the course, we're also putting a really big bridge net feature in. We've got a new feature called the playground, which is modelled on a kid's playground and the type of things you see there. So lots of new telegraph pole style massive stuff. And not forgetting, of course, the new jump. So people that have done Dirty Weekend will know the jump is fairly infamous in the water wipeout zone. Yeah. This year we've made it permanent. Which on the surface doesn't mean much to people other than it's going to be bigger, it's going to look bigger. It looks pretty intimidating, I have to say.
So it's a bigger jump this year?
It's a bigger jump,
yeah.
And we physically built it into the ground, as opposed to year on year we dig a hole and then fill the hole in. This year it's here to stay.
And will we still have the multi-levels for people that don't want to jump from such a height? They can jump from a lower height? Yeah,
definitely. There'll be a jump at approximately, I think it's 2.5 metres, and then the big one will be at 7 metres, yeah.
And last year it was
6.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound much, but when you're standing there, it definitely is.
And the water's deep enough?
The water is very, very deep. We've actually gone deeper with the water. So the water this year is 4 metres deep, which should mean absolutely nobody will come anywhere near the bottom of it.
Good. Okay, Jim, so how are we getting back over the river towards the end of the race where we used to have the big crane? Is that going to still be here this year? Yeah,
a couple of years ago we put in a massive suspension bridge off a 100-ton crane. Unfortunately, we can't do that again, because although it looked brilliant, there was an absolute limit, to the weight that we can put on that crane, which basically meant that it can't take enough people for it not to queue. So although it looked impressive, it was brilliant. We love it. We created it. We just can't get enough people through it in a short enough period of time, which just means that half people think it's brilliant and the other half will be standing there shivering, within half a mile of the finish line. So crane's not coming back. But we have a pontoon crossing in one direction, floating lily pads, we call them. We have a load of planks coming across a kayak raft that we've had before. Yes. And we have a swim in that area as well. We've also this year introduced some bodyboards to that lake. So that'll be amusing viewing for the spectators. Yeah.
One of the signature obstacles of Rat Race Dirty Weekend is the big one at the end. Are we seeing any changes to that, or is it getting bigger, more slides? Or
the big one will be returning. It's not going to get any bigger than last year. That's pretty much as high as we can go. I think it's high enough. Certainly the crew that work on it think so. So that you'll slide over the finish line as before. It'll be a slightly different entry onto it. So we'll have a different truck there. It'll be like I say, slightly different entry onto it, but it's pretty much exactly the same massive slide coming across the finish line. We've gone a bit slide crazy this year, actually. We've got another slide on the course that we're calling the Big Cheese, which isn't, ironically, as big as the big one, but still a good slide. We're putting a couple of small floating slides into the lake. That's quite innovative, on pontoons, and we've also got a slide using tubes coming into the lake as well, so a slightly different slide that people will have encountered in the lake before. So all in all, 4 slides. It's not bad.
So sitting on tubes?
Going down tubes.
Oh, so you're
inside the tube. Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
We've kind of the year of the slide maybe. And there's some other really quirky stuff. I mean, we always like a bit of a disco and a bop at Dirty Weekends. People that have done it will remember the rave sheds. Last year introduced a caravan. This year introducing a London taxi. There's going to be a couple of lasers here and there. There's going to be a couple of competitions on the course as well. I won't say too much about that because they're pretty weird. And we're introducing bikes this year. So people that have been getting our mail out, our newsletter, should have seen a new obstacle, which, what have we called it? I forget what we've called it. Anyway, pedal to the metal, that's right. And you basically pedal a bike and it raises a sandbag and then it comes down. So there's a few interludes that are, genuinely never seen before, pretty off the wall stuff. And that's the beauty of a course that's 20 miles long, involving so many obstacles. You can just make some really weird stuff up, and that's all part of the fun.
So last week we saw the new reveal of the obstacle underground, where you've buried containers for people to go into. So how's that going?
Yeah, well, they're in. We've had the diggers out a lot this week, actually. We've dug some new holes. There's some underground chambers which people are going to enter via some London phone boxes, and then they're going to come out via the TARDIS. I won't tell you what's going on underground, but it just involves sound, lights, bit of fun, and some tunnels. And then, with the big diggers, we've actually cut a new mud run zone as well. So we've changed the location of that slightly, and it's become another permanent feature of the Dirty Weekend site. Bigger trenches, more trenches, some massive walls there that people will be familiar with that have done it before. But we've gone to town there and just made that zone bigger, and people are actually going to hit it in 2 directions. Been quite busy on the permanent installation stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So, talking more about the fun side of things, Friday night we've got the world record challenge for monkey bars. Yeah,
that's right. More life out of the world's biggest monkey bars. We're going to do another Guinness World Record attempt on Friday night for those that fancy a bit of a shot themselves at a new world record, and that's the furthest travelled in 1 minute on monkey bars. Right. So that'll be going on Friday night, followed by a wheelbarrow race world record attempt in the beer tent. And this year we're going to have a beer tent with loads of real ale on, like a beer festival style offering, and the big top tent. On the Friday night, the action will be in the beer tent. On the Saturday night, both tents will be open. So slightly different vibe in the event village there as well. There's the choice there, effectively, somewhere a little bit quieter where you might just want to drink with your mates, or somewhere banging, with the DJs and all the glitzy stuff going on.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much.
No worries.
I think that wraps us all up. We look forward to seeing you at Dirty Weekend.